I'm Kalanda Joaquin, and this is my presentation for the Java exam 2021 semester 2. So the question is, read about events, event handling, the event delegation model, event listeners, and event adapters in Java. Prepare a PowerPoint presentation of not more than 8 slides about this. Now my answers are starting with events. Events are objects that are created when something changes within a graphical user interface, GUI. They represent the graphical user interface action in Java. Now for the graphical user interface, it's a form of user interface that allows users to interact with electronic devices through graphical icons and audio indicators such as primary notations, typed command labels, stroke, text navigation, and other icons. So if a user clicks on a button, clicks on a combo box, or types characters into a text field, etc., then an event triggers, creating the relevant event object. Now the next step is event handling, and this is the mechanism that controls the event and decides what should happen if an event occurs. This mechanism have a code which is known as event handler. This one that is executed when an event occurs. Event handlers can be used to handle and verify user input, user actions, and browser actions. So now we are going to another part. That's event delegation model, and this is basically a pattern to handle events effectively. For example, I wrote their code. Now that's the code. In this model, a source generates an event and forwards it to one or more listeners. The listener waits until it receives an event, and once it receives, in this model, the listener must be connected with the source to receive the event notification. Thus, the events will only be received by the listeners who wish to receive them. So now let's go to another part, which is event listeners. It is an interface which represents an object that can handle an event dispatched by an event target object. For example, the code is there. So event listeners are among the most frequent used JavaScript structures in web design. They allow us to add interactive functionality to HTML elements by listening to different events that take place on the page, such as when the user clicks a button, press a key, or when an element loads. When an event happens, we can execute something. So now we go to the next step, and it's the last on this question 1. Event adapters. It is a class that provides a difficult implementation of an event listener interface in Java. Here, all WebLogic integration event adapters perform the following functions. They respond to events that occur inside the running EIS by extracting and storing data about the event from the EIS. Now, here the EIS represents the Enterprise Information Systems, and it consists of database servers, enterprise resource planning systems, and other legacy data sources like mainframes. These sources typically are located on a separate machine than the Java EE server and are accessed by the components on the business tier. Now, the next function is that they transform event data from an EIS specific format to an XML document that conforms to the XML scheme for the event. Then the XML scheme is based on metadata in the enterprise information systems. Now, the XML, it's the extensible markup language, and is a very popular simple text-based language that can be used as a mode of communication between different applications. It's considered as a standard means of transport and store data. Now the next function is that they propagate the event in the WebLogic integration environment by using the event router. Now an event router is a module for creating new service instances and event delivery to all interested parties such as software applications and computer systems. And now, thank you for watching my presentation.